You'll sit comfortably. You got your popcorn. You got your popcorn. Okay.
This is a unique showing of something that needs a little bit of explanation. I'm sure, as fans, you know the background of this film, that it's not a film about the alarm.
No, it's not. No, it's not autobiographical.
But it is a film about something that happened.
Absolutely. The film is inspired by the 45 RPM story, and it began with a phone call to the MPO office that you've all called many times, the 571 number. And it was a guy called Jim Cooper initially phoning up, and he was he's not here tonight, probably, someone might say he is. But yeah, Jim Cooper phoned the office and he asked to speak to Mike Peters. And Peter Jones said, "Oh, well, you can't do that, you know." And he said, "Not without an appointment."
I never can.
Yes. And he said, "What's it about?" And he goes, "I'm a film writer from LA and I've got a great idea for a movie about the alarm." I was like, yeah, you'll say that. You do, don't you? And he phoned about 5 times. "Can I speak to Mike Peters?" "But can I speak to Mike Peters, please?" "No, no."
He was Dutch, was he?
Obviously, I am. Yeah. Anyway, eventually, he wrote an email in explaining that he had this great idea for a film based on the 45 RPM story that had broken around the world, and he'd seen it on the CBS News Dan Rather special when they showed the 45 RPM story, and Jim had an idea to write a script, and he went to a guy called John H. Williams, who's the producer of the Shrek trilogies, and he played the trick on him. He said, "Here's a song by a young band that might be great for one of your Shrek films." And he thought, "Oh, great." And he said, "But what if I was telling you that wasn't the real band that played the song?" And he played the trick on John H. Williams, and he bought into the idea and became an early supporter of the film. And then the band and I went over to LA to appear on the Craig Kilborn Late Late Show, and to play 45 RPM in California. And when we were there at CBS Studios, Jim Cooper and John H. Williams himself came over to see us at the TV studios, and they said, we're going to make a movie based on this story." And it was like, "Great, okay." And they said, "We've got a fantastic director in mind, and she's British and she's a girl, and you're going to absolutely love her."
We already do.
We do.
Sarah Sugarman was the director. Sarah is an old pal of ours from Rill.
That's right. When John Williams said, you'll never know this girl named Sarah Sugarman," I went, "Sarah Sugarman from Rill? I went to school with her." Small world.
So she was the perfect woman to direct the show.
Well, she knew the area. Yeah, I phoned Sarah that night from the studio, and she lived in LA actually, and I phoned her up and said, "You're going to be meeting John H. Williams from the Shrek movies tomorrow." And she goes, "Yeah, how do you know?" And I told her the story, and she said, "Right, I'm doing the movie no matter what." And Sarah had been an old school friend of ours, and hang out with us, and she was with us right from the start of the Toilets in the early days, and she used to go out with Glyn, the bass player, Steve Shock. She went out with Steve Shock, and so she knew the whole history of the band, and when she was really aware of the story, she became really compelled and taken with it. And Sarah is the one who's driven it through all the ups and downs that you go with the movie. In fact, the idea got mooted in 2004, and here we are in 2012, and it's about to hit the screens. And
is there a release date? Before these guys ask you 100 times, is there a release date for this film yet?
There's no set release date yet. What's happening with the film is it's playing in festivals for the next few months while they build up a sort of promo identity behind the film and get some reviews.
You've all liked the clips on YouTube, have you? Have you seen them? Will you like them? Will you share them on your social networks? Because this film needs the kind of support that you lot can give it, okay? This is the core. It's a great story, it's a great film, but what we're about to see is not the finished version, is it?
No, we're going to see a cut few steps removed from the actual film that you will see in the cinemas.
We're playing you the demos.
Yeah, playing
Because you're fans.
Because you're fans, yeah. You've seen a rough cut really, and some of the music that was created by the band and Steve Allen Jones that we made specifically for the movie is missing. So you'll hear some classic punk rock singles in the soundtrack, but they have been replaced by original music that you'll see when you actually go to see it in the cinema when it comes out. As I say, there's no specific release date yet. It's building up to that moment, but some of you had a sneak preview when we shot the scene at Ridland Castle in the last August, and that was really when the film started. And as I was saying earlier about the ups and downs of how it's taken to get the movie to the screen, Jules and I were driving home one night, and Jules said to me, it was about 6 days out from Ridland Castle Rocks, and we'd been down at the castle doing some site meetings, and then we were going back home, and Jules said to me, it's all gone quiet on the film front, Mike, hasn't it? I don't think it's going to get made, I don't think, we haven't heard anything for ages. And yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? Anyway, I get home, and there's a phone call from Sarah, says, right, we're coming in tomorrow, full production team, flying in from the USA, and we're going to start moving. Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And this was Sunday night. They arrived on the Monday. It was Ridland Castle Rocks the following weekend, and they said, we're coming early because we've spotted that you're doing this big gig at the castle, and we think it'd make a great closing scene, and means we'll have more budget for the film because we'll be able to take advantage of the castle scene for the finale. So they literally stepped everything up, and then for that week leading up to the filming of to the concert, the Love Up Strength Ridland Castle Rocks, it was as well as planning that whole event, Sarah then sat down with me on the Monday afternoon when she got into Wales, had a meeting, and said, yeah, and by the way, we decided we're not going to use 45 RPM in the film. We want you to write another record for the weekend that we're going to film at Ridland Castle Rocks, and it's got to sound like a massive hit record.
No pressure.
No pressure. So actually, I had something in mind, that the free rock and roll song that is at the core of the film. I had the sort of idea for the chorus, and I thought that would be a good starter. And I actually went to see, so on the Tuesday they were holding auditions in the Pavilion Theatre in Rhyl to find some cast members and extras. And I was walking into the cinema into the pavilion with Sarah, and I said, I've got this great song for the end, and it goes like, free rock and roll, free rock and roll, free rock and roll, oh, 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 oh. And she said, that sounds great, that's amazing. So I said, will you go and do a quick demo? So I went home, got my acoustic guitar, my iPhone out, and went, free rock and roll, free rock and roll, free rock and roll, oh, oh, oh. And I sent it straight on an instant email to Sarah, and she goes, nah. It sounds too 50s. I was going, 50s? Free rock and roll. She goes, it sounds like Elvis, I was going, no, look, when you're the Ramones and they go, hey, ho, let's go, that sounds like the 50s as well, but when you put 1, 2, 3, 4 behind it, it sounds like punk rock. So she was going, no, I'm not convinced, you've got to do better than that. And I knew that this was the song for the film, really. So on the Wednesday, I went down to Cardiff to have a meeting about the Rhondda Rocks the following week with Dave Driscoll, who's here today. There he is. All right, Dave. And I was in Dave's office in Cardiff, home of the Bluebirds. And below Dave's office, there's a rehearsal studio, and in the rehearsal studio was the Automatic. What's that coming over the hill? Is it? There you go, them. And I knew them because they'd been good supporters of Love Up Strength and played at the first Rhondda Rocks that we had. And so I went down into their studio where they were rehearsing. I said, all right, lads, how's it going? They went, all right, Mike, how's it going? And I said, I've got this song. Do you fancy doing a quick demo for me? And I played them, free rock and roll, free rock and roll. And they stepped up and they learned the song really fast, and we recorded it on their computer, and I sent it straight off to Sarah, and she goes, that's it. And I knew she'd been convinced. I had to basically pull the 45 trick again. I got some young guys to sing the song that I'd written. And she bought it up line and sinker.
So there's evidence that it's a good premise for a film. Listen, you've got to go and rehearse.
I'll go.
You're not allowed to stay and talk
Set up the
anymore.
film now.
Yeah, two things. There's music in the show, in this film, which isn't in the final version. A whole bunch of stuff that you've written with Steve, as Mike just said, you should hear those tunes. They are exactly of the age. They're spot on. It's a real treat. So the finished version of the film is a musical treat for Alarm fans as well. You'll get it. There are some effects missing. There's no colour correction.
There's a lot. You've seen a film that's probably 10 minutes longer than the one you're going to see when you go into the cinema to see it. Probably in the summer, spring or the summer is when it come out. And it'll come up with an Alarm album as a soundtrack and tour dates to come with it. So we're just holding everything till we get the release date. But you get a sort of an intimate view of the film today. There's some colour correction going on. There's some credits to be added in, some things in the opening sequence that are missing here, but you'll get the idea of the film. And I just ask you if, like they do in The Mousetrap in London, don't tell anybody the ending when you've seen it, okay? And also, even though you probably know what the end is, but no filming or photography would be great, or recording it, because the better we keep this secret and keep it off the internet, and by all means share the viral of the trailer. But let's have no bootlegs of the film today, mate, okay, gang? Cool. Even though it is. Just to set it all up, when I got to Midland Castle Rocks at that event, anyone was there, I had to go on and set up the whole thing and get everyone doing the chant, so let's see how we do it, okay? Free rock and roll, free rock and roll, free rock and roll, oh, 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 oh. Say it. Free rock and roll, free rock and roll, free rock and roll, oh, oh, oh. Come on! Free rock and roll, free rock and roll, free rock and roll. Brilliant, okay. So, go on, take it away.
Thank you very much. Mike Peters, he's off to the